Hi, I'm Phil with Franklin Water Treatment. Today we're going to be showing you how to tear down this Clack control valve. If your valve doesn't look exactly like this, don't worry about it. The procedure we're using today is going to be universal across the entirety of the Clack valve line. So any parts we use today, they'll be listed in the description down below. And with that, let's get started. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the bypass handles towards each other like this. That'll isolate the unit and continue to allow water to the rest of the home while we're servicing this unit. If your unit does not have a bypass, if for some reason it was directly plumbed into the home, you'll have to relieve pressure to the entire home while you work on this unit. But we have a bypass on this one, so we can isolate it, and then we're going to come over and we're going to work on the head. Now that the unit's in bypass, we're going to remove the valve cover. It's got two tabs on the side here, so we're going to pull out like so. Once that's come off, we'll set that off to the side. And now we will put the unit into regeneration by pressing and holding the regen button. Now all of our softeners will begin in the fill cycle. The fill cycle takes a while to relieve pressure, so to make it relieve pressure faster, we're going to step through until it hits backwash. Once in backwash, pressure has now been relieved from the unit. With the circuit board exposed now, we are going to remove the power cable and the meter cable. Pull our wires out. Now this whole bracket, the drive bracket, we are going to take our forefingers here, push on the bracket like that, take our thumbs, we're going to lever up on these two tabs here, like so. Cause the whole bracket to fall forward. After that, you just pick it up and out. And now our drive cap is exposed. Okay, now with our drive bracket off, what we're going to do is we're going to grab hold of our meter cable here. We're going to pull that down and run that through our back plate. We're going to come to the back here where our meter is. Now this nut that's here, this is only hand tight, so we're just going to loosen that up. Set that off to the side for right now. Then we're going to take a regular flat-headed screwdriver. We're going to put it in the notch right here at the 12 o'clock position. Then you're going to give that a quick turn. That's going to pop that whole thing out. And then once it's out, just pull on it like so, we'll take our new meter and you're going to take that and put a little bit of grease on the O-ring here. If you have food grade silicone grease, don't use any WD-40 or anything like that on this valve. And we're just going to push that back in like so until we hear it pop. Okay, then we're going to take our nut and we're just going to put that back on. Again, only has to be about hand tight, which is right about there. Once that's done, you're going to take your new meter cable, you're going to run that through the same spot in the back of the back plate. You're going to pull that all the way through. Then you're going to push it into these two tabs, like so. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our wires are both seated inside of these little channels. If they're outside of the channels, this bracket is never going to go back on right. So make sure your wires are pushed in on both sides. Meter on the left, power cable on the right. So now with the drive bracket, we're going to look to see these 2 feet here and here. We're going to match them up on our back plate, like so. Just going to drop in there. We're going to lever the whole thing up. Again, make sure your wires are free. We're just going to push on it till we hear it snap. If it meets a little bit of resistance, sometimes turning that gear can help. Just like so. I'll run my wires through. Meter cable will go on the far right. I'm going to do the same thing with my power cable here. Power cable will go into the 4-prong slot, like so. And then I'm going to attach my cover. Now with our face cover back on, we can go ahead and open up our bypass and return water flow to the unit. Once this is back in service, go ahead and put this into a manual regeneration. Once we went through this entire procedure, this unit has forgotten where the capacity in the tank is. So we want to make sure that what's reading on here matches what's down in here. So put this into a manual regeneration. That'll refresh the bed, bring it back to 100% so that both of these are matched up and it can begin metering again. Once that's done, this unit has been fully rebuilt and you're ready to go.